Hello, namaste, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to share some guidance for Wednesday and Thursday. That's Wednesday the 8th. Is it the 8th already? Wednesday the 8th and Thursday the 9th of May. So thank you for joining me today, and I trust you're feeling great. Before I actually get into this, I just want to inform you that Facebook is making big changes, and we're already noticing some. We can't actually like people's comments anymore, and if this hasn't rolled out to you yet, it won't be far away, I'm sure, unless it's a glitch. But we've been looking a little bit, and Facebook's about to make some really serious changes. So what that might mean is that you might not be able to see my videos or posts much. I don't know, because they really are limiting pages. So I want to remind you that if you don't see my things for a while and you've been looking, or you want to, you can always go over to my website. I share my videos, my blogs and things over there. Also, you can follow me on Patreon. You don't have to be a patron, but you can follow me over there. And if things die off here on Facebook, I can use Patreon as like a newsfeed type of thing. You know, and put posts up and share cards of the day and things like that. So that's an option. And also YouTube. So keep an eye out on those networks, those areas, if you find that suddenly you don't see my stuff. I want to let you know now because, well, I don't know what they're going to do. So welcome, extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Now, what's happening here? Okay, now I'm going to be finding some cards. So if you're new to watching, welcome. What I'm going to be doing is using my combined Animal Kingdom Oracle cards with my Speed of Light Oracle. So these have been combined to make a 110 card deck. So I'm going to use this deck to look for the best card for Wednesday, the best card for Thursday, and then the best card for the theme for Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm not doing personal requests for guidance here today. This is general guidance for everyone. So just take on board what feels right for you and let the rest go. Just think of this as a guide only. But you can trust that you've been led here for a reason. And I'm not doing personal guidance or readings here. This is reading for everybody. So I trust you've been led here for a reason. So if you want to hang around, great. If you don't, then have a great rest of your day. So let's start by looking for the best card for Wednesday the 8th of May. Wednesday the 8th. If it's not quite Wednesday for you yet, you can think of this as guidance in advance. So Wednesday the 8th, it's near the end of Wednesday for me. It is Wednesday the 8th at 6:01 p.m. here in Tasmania, Australia. So let's see what's the best card for Wednesday for the majority of us. I trust that best card will find its way to the top of the deck. And it's here. It's a featured timing card. It's seasonal cycle. Up here it has further instructions which say to take the third card from the top of the deck, which happens to be a Speed of Light Oracle. It's the Lotus Heart. That's beautiful. Okay, so we have these two cards that have come up for Wednesday. Oh, we've got a bad stream, do we? That's not surprising. I trust I'm coming through loud and clear. But I'm just going to continue for now because sometimes the recordings are better than the live stream. We'll just see. So these two cards have come up for Wednesday, and so what I'm going to do is look at these cards separately, and then we're going to look at their relationship together. So this is the featured timing card called Seasonal Cycle. It's card 54, and it talks about 3 months. Oh, thanks everybody. It talks about 3 months. So why would this come up for a specific day? most likely because Wednesday is going to be a great a time or day or time of support for us to consider our next few months ahead. Having said that, though, it is quite difficult to plan too far ahead right now, but there is kind of a cycle that we're going through at this time. So for the next 3 months or the next few months, this card's important, and this is Lotus Heart card 22, and it says Om Mantra, meditate, reconnect, and peace. This very much brings us into our heart and into reconnecting with our heart, the simplicity of our heart. The heart energy is not complicated. So that's one of the things I really noticed when I connected with my twin flame over 10 years ago now, was that the heart connection, the heart pull was so strong, but it was not complicated. Everything just seemed to fall into place easily when things are right. When it's the right time in the right place, there is ease somehow. So if we feel like we're trying to follow our dreams, we're trying to rebuild a relationship, or we're trying to go down a certain path in our life, that's a struggle, that's complicated, that just feels stressful or overwhelming, there's probably something not quite right about it. Because I've noticed several times in my life that when we connect strongly with our heart or truly with our heart, there is ease with it. It doesn't mean we don't have problems, but they seem to resolve themselves easily than other times when there's just brick wall after brick wall. So there's a feeling here on Wednesday for us to really consider our heart connection and finding the peace that we're looking for in our own heart and connecting with that, the simplicity of our beautiful heart space. And if we've been very much mentally driven, or we've had a lot of things happening, a lot of things to plan, a lot of things going on, and we've been in a very mentally focused state, we may have gotten into the habit or the routine of being quite mentally driven. And on Wednesday, we're being encouraged to sit in our heart and think of that. Hold on a minute. Think of perhaps, or feel on how we can reconnect with our heart space over these next few months. And how we might be able to do that. Do we need to look at our schedule and maybe simplify things? Do we need to say no to some things if we've become way too busy or have too many obligations? Maybe there's something that we're inspired or have been thinking about doing or enjoying that we might be inspired to put into practice that can help us reconnect with our heart. So it will be a personal thing. Our hearts are personal. They're as unique as our fingerprint, our footprint, which I find fascinating, people's footprints, and also the sound of our voice. These are unique things about us as individuals, just as our heart space is unique. Our heart space is unique and special for us. So what is your heart telling you? And how can you reconnect with your heart energy? Some ways of suggesting how you might be able to reconnect with your heart is to connect with your body and maybe imagine a comfortable chair in your heart and imagine yourself coming to sit in your heart and see how it feels. Is your heart hurting? Is your heart vulnerable? Is your heart feeling wounded? Is your heart feeling calm? How is your heart feeling? How are you feeling? So maybe if you've been thinking about it, take some steps to reconnect with your heart and the simplicity that brings. It doesn't mean, people sometimes say, or they think, or they say that simplicity is, sitting on the couch waiting for opportunities to knock at the door. And doing nothing. I feel like simplicity still means that we're actively a part of our life. It just means we're kind of a little bit more in the flow. So things are a little bit, I don't know if easy is the right word, but there's a little bit more ease. There's a little bit more things fitting into place easier. when we're in the flow, when we're in that simplicity. It's not about, you know, sitting on the couch waiting for the opportunities to knock at the door. I don't feel that's a practical thing. You know, build it and they will come, I feel is BS. I don't feel there's any truth to that at all. So to build something just because we had a dream about it and then wait for all the people to come knocking at the door, most of the time they don't. We have to be proactive in keeping the ball rolling, or the energy flowing, really, isn't it? Because otherwise the energy, the water, becomes stagnant and goes rancid and toxic if we just let things settle and sit and we wait. So we have to keep the river flowing, keep the energy moving, be proactive. But, you know, being in that flow, it's not complicated. It's not a complicated thing. So if things are becoming too complicated, we may be trying to swim upstream. We may be a little bit too mentally driven or mentally focused. But that's a personal thing, so it's up to us to feel what that means for us. So now I'm looking for the best card for Thursday, the 9th of May. Thursday the 9th. Let's see. We'll go with this card for Thursday, and it's this. It's the Tiger Claw. I love this energy. Actually, no, it's a little bit confronting, but yeah, it's such a strong message in this card. It's card 40, our Tiger Claw. He says to stand your ground, speak, take action, and find courage. He wants us to get our claws into situations that have become stuck or stagnant or toxic. You know, sometimes when the air becomes very tense and we can walk into a room, or it's a very uncomfortable feeling with another person because maybe there's air that we need to clear that we haven't cleared yet. So Tiger Claw is very much about getting our claws into something and taking action on something that's been feeling uncomfortable, that's been stuck or negative or what have you. There is an element here of speaking up. So for some of us, that may be finding our voice and saying what we need to say, even if our voice shakes and trembles, but, you know, knowing that it's something that we have to clear and that we have to express and communicate. And finding courage to do that. So there is a sense of assertiveness in this card. And finding courage to speak up, to take action and do what we need to do for to keep us in the flow. We might also be doing this for those that are in our care, our children or our partners or people that we're closely connected to. There may be a bit of courage needed to speak up on their behalf if they're vulnerable or if they're not in a space to what would you say? They're not in a space to assert themselves. So that is coming around a little bit this week. So there may be a connection with that. So that's Tiger Claw. Have courage to speak up and take action. So let's see how that flows for our Thursday. So now I'm looking for the best card for the theme for Wednesday and Thursday. So the theme card will help bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for Wednesday and Thursday. So let's see, what will it be? Well, it's a Speed of Light Oracle card. We know that. And it's this. Now look at this. Action. This is action. Action taking. Card 10. Oh, excuse me. It says to move on, horizon, forward, let go. This card's come up several times in the last couple of months, so you may have seen this fairly recently. This is about letting the sun set on old parts of our life that aren't working any longer. And then the sun can rise on the new parts of our life that we want to step into. So this is about endings and it's about beginnings, but it's very much about action. So you know how I talked about sitting on the couch waiting for opportunities to come knocking at our door while we're eating chips and watching TV? Doesn't really happen. So this is about being proactive in closing some old doors now. We've got to get our foot out from the door. You know, when we kind of want the door to close, but we don't. So we've got our foot in the door because, you know, we're a bit scared or there's something about that we don't want to close right now. We've got to get our foot out of the door and let that door close now. We know these parts or this part of our life that it's talking about. This is, again, a very personal thing. So we know the doors that we need to close. We know the things in our life that just don't resonate anymore. And we've got to let the door close on those, because we can't have a door open and propping it open, you know, an old door, and then let a new door open at the same time. We can't let the sun set and the sun rise at the same time. Well, you know what I mean. So it sort of like goes hand in hand. So if you're finding right now that you're wanting to do something new, to step into a new door or create a new opportunity for yourself, but you're meeting with brick walls, you might want to backtrack a bit and look at, okay, what am I holding on to that's old? What door am I trying to prop open that needs to close now? You know, sometimes if this is connecting with people, a person, a specific person, sometimes we have to slam the door shut on unhealthy people that don't resonate with us, or we don't resonate with them anymore. And, you know, sometimes it can feel like we're being a bit cruel, but we can't want that person out of our life but keep in contact with them. And that would be like trying to slam the door and our foot in the door, because, you know, we don't want to hurt other people. Sometimes we have to. It's unfortunate, but we do have to move our foot out of the door. We have to close these doors for good. So whatever it is that's stopping you from closing this door, whatever it's stopping you from saying goodbye or for letting this thing go, it's going to be really important to be honest with yourself about why are you trying to keep this door open. A big part of you probably wants it to close, and you keep trying to slam it, but it's not going closed. It's not shutting. So get your foot out of the door, of the old door. Let some new things come in now. We can't turn back time. We can't rewind things and have things how they used to be. Things change, people change. We've got to change with it. So we can still hold those beautiful memories and those feelings that we had, that person stirred in us, or that situation prompted in us. We can hold those feelings always if we want to, but we have to let those doors close. We have to let ourselves move on now. So we need to be proactive with this, is what this card's saying. So it's not just about endings and beginnings, it's also about action. We have to be active with this, proactive. It's not going to happen on its own. We need to recognize what we're propping open and let it go. Let that door shut now. And even though we don't know what's coming from that, we have to trust in the unfolding. We've got to trust that as we clear the old out, as we close those old doors, and as we let the sun set on those old parts of our life, we have to trust 100% that a new sun is going to rise. The new dawn is going to bring new beginnings. That new doors are going to reveal themselves. We might not know yet. And that can be part of what's scary, the unknown. But we have to fully step into our trust that everything's going to work out okay, or better than okay. The more we resist something that's potentially coming, the more amazing that thing's going to be. That's what I've found out in my life. The louder the resistance, the more amazing the new things is. Because our wounded self wants to hold us back in our hurt and our pain and our suffering. So when our wounded self senses that there's something amazing around the corner, it's going to want to vomit all over our potential happiness and opportunities. That's just what it does. I've been doing this work for a long time and doing a lot of self-healing, and I've seen this as a common theme personally and in my work. So resistance, fear, the louder it is, the more of an amazing thing it's trying to cover up. So if we can find the courage to let go, if we can find the courage to say, I'm ready to close this door now. Well, there might be grief associated with that, whether it's, the loss of a person, or just someone moving on from our life, or a situation that we loved but it doesn't work anymore. So we might grieve with what we've lost. That's very normal and natural. So as we feel that, we can allow that closing of that door to kind of reset us in a way to align ourselves with the new path that's preparing to open up. It's like for me with my workshop burning down last month. No, it wasn't last month now. I can now say it was 2 months ago. I don't know exactly how long because I don't want to time everything to a certain date. I don't want to be time locked. I don't want to be locked to a certain time on a certain day, on a certain month and a certain year when something happened. I don't want to lock myself there because it locks us, it holds us back. Whether it's a loved one that passed or a big event that takes place in our life, that's life-changing. We've got to be careful it doesn't lock us back in time. So I don't want to lock myself back to when my workshop burned down, even though things could have been much worse, and maybe you're going through much worse, and if you are, I'm sending you lots and lots of love. But that was a big deal for me at that point. So I recognize that this big event that took place has led into other huge events and massive synchronicities over this last couple of months that I know, I can feel it in my bones, that it is steering me into something huge. I have no idea what that huge thing is, and I don't even want to focus on that. I've just got to get myself through the steps now of the rebuild, of the new learning and things like that. But that big stuff and all the things revolving around it, the synchronicities around these big events, they don't happen for no reason. So they've got to be steering us in a very powerful direction if they're a big, powerful thing. So if you're feeling a big feeling, if you're experiencing a big breakdown, or you're going through a big event right now that's really difficult to get through, just do your best to support yourself through it and see if you can just build on your trust that you're moving in the right direction and that things are going to work out okay, or better than okay. We don't want to have expectations, but it's good to remind ourselves to trust in the unfolding. I love trusting in the unfolding. It's scary, but it's exciting when it all works out. It's so exciting when it all works out. So you can trust, we can trust in the unfolding of our life's journey at this time and always. So if you're getting a bit impatient or agitated, then you're probably not trusting in your journey. So lots of things to think about really there. So thanks for listening. And I trust something shared was helpful and supportive. So our card for the theme for Wednesday and Thursday is this: action taking, letting the expired go so that we can welcome the new in. Out with the old, in with the new. We all know what that means. So that's the guidance. I've used my combined Speed of Light Oracle cards with my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, my newest deck. And so they've been made to join up together, to combine if you want to. It's totally up to you. You can work with them by themselves, are perfectly powerful like that too, but it's lots of fun to combine them. So if you want to learn more, just have a look on my website at templeofbalance.com.au. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you want to connect more privately, just send us a message through our website. Thank you so much. So as I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, Facebook is undergoing massive changes, apparently, according to Facebook. And I've already noticed we can't actually like comments anymore on posts. You can only push them up or push them down. So this is going to mean, as far as my Temple of Balance Facebook page goes, you're probably going to start feeling less personally connected with me, aside from what I share, because I've always loved to like all of your comments and read them and communicate back with you when I can. And Corey's been helping me with that a lot because we get hundreds of comments on these videos. But I'm not going to, it's going to probably feel a bit less personal now, which is a shame, but that's just the way it's going and what happens when you have a growing and quite a big page like this. So I recommend, if you are on Facebook, head on over to our Temple of Balance group. You can request to join that anytime, and it is a little bit more personal. And I do share on there every day several posts, and you do tend to see them better on the groups than you do in the pages. Also keep an eye out on my website, on my YouTube channel, Instagram, and you will also see stuff from me just in case things start vanishing if Facebook changes. So just a bit of a heads up. If you want to learn more about me and my work, please visit my website at templeofbalance.com.au. I've just released some new earrings. I didn't put any on today. Some new earrings on my website, crystal ones. So they're up on the website. There's some new crystal pendants. There's only a couple left that I released this week. And we've got events coming up in Melbourne. Melbourne only next month, so get in soon. It's only about 6 weeks to our Melbourne event, and Hobart, and also the Tasmania Healing Retreat. So there's lots of things to have a look at on my website if you're inspired to, at templeofbalance.com.au. Thanks everyone for connecting. Have a fantastic couple of days, and I'll see you again very soon. So thank you and namaste. Bye.